Hey guys, Ms. Gosling here. There's been some confusion about the Amazing Vectors Lab, so I wanted to go ahead and record this video to show you an example of how to solve it. So as you can see, I have my Amazing Vectors Lab here. So I'm going to go ahead and open the document. And you'll see I have a title slide, which you can skip. And part one, instructions. So the first thing you're going to do is design your maze. So on the next slide, I have a grid. You're going to draw a route using at least 5 different vectors. You can see the rules for your route here. So 2 different edges, marking the start using both horizontal and vertical vectors, and no angled vectors. So here is my grid, and I'm going to go ahead and draw a route. Now y'all are supposed to do 5 vectors. I'm only going to do 3 just to make things a little simpler. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my first arrow, and to do that, just so you, as you saw, I clicked the select line and I selected an arrow. Now you can see this arrow is really hard to see. So to make it easier for myself, I'm going to go ahead and change its color to red. And I can do that with this little tool here. And then to the right, there's a tool to change the line weight. And I'm going to go ahead and change the line weight to 4 pixels. So that makes my vector nice and easy to see. I'm going to do the same for my second vector. And I'm going to go 3 blocks down. And I'm going to again change the line color and the line weight. And I'm going to add in a third vector to go to my end. Again, y'all have to do 5 vectors. I'm only doing 3, and I'm just doing that to make this video a little quicker for you guys. So what I'm going to do now I have my 3 vectors, I'm going to go ahead and write directions. So part 2 is going to be writing directions for how to navigate the maze. And I am going to go ahead and add a new slide with my directions. So first, I start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares up. So start 5 squares up. On the left edge of the grid. Then, from there, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares to the right. And that's my first vector. So go 5 squares to the right. Then, you can see I went 3 squares down. So that'll be step 3. Go 3 squares down. And finally, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 squares up. And that's my end. So those are the directions I would give to my partner. Then, my partner would take my directions. I'm going to go ahead and take the directions, and my partner will copy it onto their slide. So my partner now is going to try to follow my directions on this grid, or I'm going to try to follow my partner's directions on slide 6 on this grid. So I'm going to do whatever they told me to do. I'm going to go ahead and erase this for now. And then, once I have finished using my partner's directions to navigate through the grid to try to draw the same picture my partner did, I'm going to go ahead to the final question and figure out how far I am from where I started. Now you can decide whether you want to do your own grid or your partner's for this. I'm going to do my own grid because I don't have a partner right now. So to figure out how far I am from where I started, I'm going to go ahead and draw an arrow from my start to my end. And I'm going to go ahead and change its color. I'm going to make it blue since it's a different vector from my others. And I'm going to make it a little thicker. So you can see I am 5 squares to the right and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares up from where I started. So I am 5 to the right, 5 up. And so what I'll do is I'm going to figure out the length of this vector. And as you guys should remember from the video on adding 2-dimensional vectors, to do that, I will use the Pythagorean theorem, and I will say c squared is equal to 5 squared plus 5 squared, and I can go ahead and solve that. So I'll just square root of 5 squared plus 5 squared, so the square root of 50, which is 7.1. And that is my distance from where I started. That's my magnitude of this vector. And its direction, of course, is northeast. And I can figure that out by drawing a little compass. So if you get confused, go ahead and draw a compass on your map like this. Let me go ahead again. I'm going to make it a little easier to see. So if this is my compass, I know where my north, south, east, and west are. So we've got north, east, south, and west. And I can see that if I were to take this compass and move it, move the compass all the way over to where I started, I could see that I am northeast from where I started. So to the end, I will add northeast. And that is my final answer. So that is the answer to the final question. So guys, hopefully this video clarified the lab a little bit. If it didn't, please let me know and we'll go ahead and I can answer questions you might have. Best of luck with this lab and happy solving.